If you are anything like me, you might have thought, do I really need to spend that much money on a Kindle when I already own an iPad? And with devices like the Kindle Scribe coming out at such a high price, if you've got an iPad and an Apple Pencil, do you even need it? Well, today we're going to find out. Your first logical step would be to download the Kindle app on the iPad. You then open up a book and go, that looks horrible, that is so bright, that's so glary, it's so uncomfortable for my eyes. Very different experience to what you would get on a Kindle. Well, don't quit on me yet, because I have found a few solutions that can make the whole experience so much better. So first, let's look at the Kindles. Now, they're actually quite a high resolution screen. They come in at about 300 pixels per inch. That is higher than you get on the current gen iPad Pro, which comes in at 265 pixels per inch. But things look a lot sharper on the iPad Pro. I was really surprised when I saw those two numbers. First off, the Kindles aren't a colour screen, they use grayscale, and that means you get much less dynamic range, therefore much less contrast on the screen. The screens themselves have a kind of matte feel. If you run your finger across the front, it feels kind of bumpy, like a piece of paper. That is because of their anti-glare features. If you run your finger across the front of the iPad, completely smooth, it feels like glass. This gives everything on the Kindle a kind of soft feel. It makes it really easy on your eyes so you can read for a long time. And there's actually a really simple fix to get the same effect on your iPad. You just need to apply a matte screen protector. Now, you might have heard of things like the paper-like screen protector that makes the iPad feel like it's made of paper, so when you're using the Apple Pencil, you can draw and you can write and it gives you that same kind of experience. Well, that's the kind of thing I use. I actually use a cheaper alternative to the paper-like. I think it cost me about half as much and you got 2 units in the box, and it achieves a very similar result. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out the one I'm using, but any matte screen protector will give you the same result. What this does is it adds a layer of diffusion and it gives everything that slightly softer feel. But I should make you aware this definitely comes with some drawbacks. I'll be honest, my screen protector manages to be both my favourite iPad accessory and my most disliked at the same time. The soft look is really nice, and when you use the Apple Pencil you get that tactile feedback, and I enjoy it so much more. I do a lot of note taking on my iPad and I think this is a must have for that kind of exercise. But the reason why I bought the top tier iPad Pro is because of the quality screen it comes with. It comes with a QLED screen that has got absolutely fantastic contrast, brightness and colours. The matte screen protector greatly affects all of these. It's actually like using a slightly lower resolution screen. When I'm watching things like videos, I don't notice it so much, and if I'm honest, I quite like the look. But when I'm browsing on the home screen, everything's got a slightly fuzzy look to it. There are some added benefits. That diffusion does give you those kind of anti-glare properties, but it also does give you less viewing angles. So do bear these in mind. For me, it's staying on for the time being because I really like the feel of it. The next step is to fix the setup of the iPad app. The default layout is absolutely awful. It starts you off with a plain white background and it is so bright and it's so difficult to look at. All 3 of the other choices are a massive step up. First off, you've got the cream. That is pretty good. It still does have a slight bit of glare, but it's loads easier to look at than the white. The next 2 I probably like equally as much, and I jump between the 2 of them. You've got the green, or what I will call pistachio, or you've got the black. I find the black to be pretty good if you're reading at night or reading in bed, because you get much less light coming through the screen. And when I'm reading in the day, I sprinkle on the pistachios. Now, whichever one you choose, it will completely change the way you view the app. Now, Kindle team, if you're watching, and you're probably not, but anyway, if you're watching, why on earth do you set it up with the basic being white? I imagine so many people download the app and then just never use it because it's so painful to look at. I guarantee you, if by default it went to even just the cream version, it would get so much more use. The next step is to change your font and your font size. Now, this will all be personal preference, but personally I like the Amazon Ember Bold. I find it really easy to read and there's much less effort needed for my eyes. If you like something a bit less bold, then Bookily is really nice and really clean. The font size is really a balance of how much you want to fit on the screen and how easy you want to make it on your eyes. Personally, when I'm using the iPad, I make things quite a bit bigger than I would when I'm using my Kindle. You've got a lot more screen real estate to work with, so you can already fit more on the screen, so you might as well make it easy for yourself as you can. The next step is to adjust your brightness, and this is where it all comes together. Now, the brightness I use to read on the iPad is far below what I would use for any other activity. There's a real bell curve with the brightness on the iPad where it gets better and better and better, then worse and worse and worse. Here you will need to set it up to suit your environment, so have a play and find something that works best for you. If you take these steps, I guarantee you your reading experience will be so much better than it would be otherwise. So that takes us to the Kindle Scribe comparison. Now, for general note taking, the iPad is pretty fantastic. I use apps like GoodNotes 5, Notability and quick notes. They've all got a really full feature set and make taking notes a breeze, particularly when you pair them with the Apple Pencil and a matte screen protector. But the thing that's really good about the Kindle Scribe is the way you can annotate your books as you're reading them, where you can actually do a very similar thing on the iPad. When you find some text you want to annotate, just highlight the section like you usually would, hold your finger and drag it across, then press and hold that highlighted text and you will see the highlighter tools come up. Then just select the note icon and use your pencil, use your keyboard or use your on-screen keyboard. The only real difference here when compared to the Scribe is that that text will automatically change to typed text. Now, I kind of wish it wouldn't do this because that isn't a perfect solution and it often gets words wrong. You need to be quite clear with your text. But I'm particularly scruffy and it does work pretty well for mine. The advantage of this solution though is that the Kindle can work with those typed notes and it can export them really easily. For PDFs, it's even easier. You just pull out your Apple Pencil and start writing on top of the PDF. It will automatically kick in. Really good, really easy to use. There you have it. There is definitely a few wins to owning a real Kindle. But if you've got an iPad Pro and you're willing to follow these steps, I guarantee you will get a usable experience. So there you have it. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, a like would be awesome and a subscribe to the channel would be even better. I would love to see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Goodbye.